Presentation, we will be discussing all about Kelly's philosophical position. Kelly's philosophical position is made up of three parts: person as scientist, scientist as person, and constructive alternativism. Kelly believed that the universe is real, but different people perceive it in different ways. Thus, an individual's personal construct is key to predicting their behavior. Personal construct theory does not try to explain nature. Rather, it is a theory of people's construction of events, that is, their personal inquiry into the world. It's a psychology of the human quest. It does not say what has or will be found, but proposes rather how you might go about looking for it. Person as scientist. When you decide what to eat for lunch, what shows to watch, or what job to enter, you are acting in much the same manner as a scientist. You ask questions, formulate hypotheses, test them, draw conclusions, and try to predict future events. Like everyone, your perception of reality is colored by your personal constructs, your way of looking at, explaining, and interpreting events in your world. In a similar manner, all people, in their quest for meaning, make observations, construe relationships among events, formulate theories, generate hypotheses, test those that are plausible, and reach conclusions from their experiments. A person's conclusions, like those of any scientist, are not fixed or final. They are open to reconsideration and reformulation. Kelly was hopeful that people, individually and collectively, will find better ways of restructuring their lives through imagination and foresight. Scientist as person. If people can be seen as scientists, then scientists can also be seen as people. Therefore, the pronouncements of scientists should be regarded with the same skepticism with which we view any behavior. Every scientific behavior can be looked at from a different perspective. Every theory can be slightly tilted and viewed from a different angle. This approach, of course, means that Kelly's theory is not exempt from restructuring. Kelly presented this theory as a set of half-truths and recognized the inaccuracy of its constructions. Kelly hoped that his theory would be overthrown and replaced by a better one. Indeed, Kelly, more than any other personality theorist, formulated a theory that encourages its own demise. Just as all of us can use our imagination to see everyday events differently, personality theorists can use their ingenuity to make better theories. Constructive alternativism. Kelly began with the assumption that the universe exists and that it functions as an integral unit, with all its parts interacting precisely with each other. Moreover, the universe is constantly changing, so something is happening all the time. Yet to these basic assumptions is that people's thoughts exist, and also that people strive to make sense out of their continuously changing world. Different people construe reality in different ways, and the same person is capable of changing his or her view on the world. He referred to this assumption as constructive alternativism. This philosophy assumes that piece-by-piece accumulation of facts does not add up to truth, rather it assumes that facts can be looked at from different perspectives. Kelly agreed with Adler that a person's interpretation of events is more important than the events themselves. However, Kelly stressed that interpretations have meaning in the dimension of time, and what is valid at one time becomes false when construed differently at a later time. For example, when Freud originally heard his patients' accounts of childhood seduction, he believed that early sexual experiences were responsible for later hysterical reactions. If Freud had continued to construe his patients' reports in this fashion, the entire history of psychoanalysis would have been quite different. But then, for a variety of reasons, Freud restructured his data and gave up his seduction hypothesis. Shortly thereafter, he tilted the picture a little and saw a very different view. With this new view, he concluded that seduction reports were merely childhood fantasies. His alternative hypothesis was the Oedipus complex, a concept that is far from the same with his original theory. Kelly believed that the person, not the facts, holds the key to an individual's future. Facts and events do not dictate conclusions, rather they carry meanings for us to discover. We are all constantly faced with alternatives, which we can explore if we choose, but we must assume to be responsible for how we construe our worlds. We are victims of neither our history nor our present circumstances. That is not to say that we can make of our world whatever we wish. We are, as said by Kelly, limited by our feeble wits and our timid reliance upon what is familiar. We do not always welcome new ideas. Like scientists in general, and personality theorists in particular, we often find restructuring disturbing and thus hold on to ideas that are comfortable and theories that are well established. And that is all for Kelly's philosophical position.
Created using Powtoon.